Hello. I don't believe I'm live, but if I am, terrific. But I don't believe I am. I am. All right. Well, welcome everyone to this live stream. Welcome if you're watching a replay. Welcome if you're watching it live. It's currently Monday morning here in Melbourne, and I have the day off work because I injured my back, and my boss said, take the day off work. And I'm like, well, what else am I going to do today? But she doesn't want me to work. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make this puzzle, this Lego piece, this Ao Bing and NeZha piece. Previously, I made the other NeZha, and that turned out really well. It's behind me and you can't see it. Shit. But it turned out really well. So I think this one's going to turn out really well. And just to make it a bit more, just conversation a bit better, I want to talk about a couple of movies. So if you've seen some movies and you want to chat to me about them while you're live, great. Let's have a chat. Otherwise, if you're watching a replay of this, we are most likely going to be talking about the Thai film Ghost Lab, which I watched yesterday. It's currently playing on Netflix. And then once we finish having a chat about that, we might go and have a bit of a chat about Hong Kong and the industry in Hong Kong until we've completed both puzzle pieces. So let's have a look. I've already opened the box because the last time I did this, it took me forever to open this stupid box. So in the box, we've got Ao Bing pieces, NeZha pieces, instruction set. So let's start. So what I'm going to have to do is move the camera down so that you can actually see the build and just listen to my dulcet, sick tones. Just if you're wondering, I had a COVID test and I am fine. The report came back as not negative. What did it say? Not detected, which I believe is their way of saying you're fine. But just in case you get it in the future, we can't be held responsible for telling you you were fine. So thanks for that, the Victorian government. Yeah. All right, so let's move the camera down onto the table. And there goes the webcam. Should have done this beforehand. And I feel sorry for you if you're watching this live, or if you're watching this replay and you're thinking, what the hell is this clown doing? Because it doesn't look like I'm having a good time doing this. How about that? That's a good angle. Just move all this shit out of the way. Yeah, passwords to websites and stuff. Log in and have a look at whatever I've got. So I'm going to start with Ao Bing. I bet that noise sounds really noisy. Yeah. So this one's 270 pieces, which I believe is split evenly amongst the two pieces, the two puzzles. Why is there so much stuff in here? And two more packets of stuff. You know what? Let's not worry about those yet. Let's just worry about building this one. So I'll have to move to the instructions to Ao Bing, which is on this side. You guys can't see them, but anyway. And let's start building this puppy. I might have to. Now, this is my OCD kicking in, so I might just separate everything by color, because that way it'll make finding things a buttload easier. And then blue over there, white, white, blue, this strange cream color. Isn't it great now that the patent on Lego has expired? All these other companies can start making knockoffs. Well, these are pretty good knockoffs. In fact, I think these are officially licensed. Just obviously the patent on Lego doesn't exist anymore. Excuse me. Now, the pieces I need to start with are not here. So I have to open up all the bloody packets. All right, come on, Ao Bing. What do you got? What do you got? So once I've opened all the packets, then we can start the... Ooh, this has got all the small pieces. I shouldn't open this one yet. Okay, small pieces, you go over there. And medium-sized pieces, you can go here. My God. All right, so the first thing to do is to find 2 of these. So 1, is that in camera? Yep, 1 and 2, these 2, and a 4 base, this one. And you just put it together. Oh, where's the camera? There. Hey, we've started making Ao Bing terrific. All right. Now, just keep building it up. So actually, these are all the small pieces I've got to do. So I wanted to have a chat about Ghost Lab. I'm going to do a full review on that later. So, you know, you'll get a better kind of idea of what I thought of it in a proper review. But I did want to talk about Ghost Lab because it was a bit of a surprise film. I didn't expect it to be so good. So it's currently showing on Netflix as what seems to be the common thing now with a lot of new Asian films just getting onto Netflix. I'm missing a piece already. Isn't that terrific? Isn't that terrific? What the hell? What are you? This one. No, I'm not missing a piece. So this is the piece I was looking for, and I've got to put it on in a really funny way. That. Done. Okay, so I apologize for my nose. It probably sounds really disgusting too. That did not fix the camera angle at all, did it? No. So Ghost Lab is this really awesome Thai movie about a couple of doctors who work in this hospital in Thailand, and one of them is really into ghosts. Firstly, they're interns at this hospital, so they're not full-on doctors just as yet. But they're really into, one of them's really into the whole idea of ghosts. And so he's talking to his buddy. Buddy's name is Wee. I can't remember his name now. I'll have to look it up again. But he proposes an idea. Well, no, I'm jumping a bit ahead of myself. One doesn't believe in ghosts. He's very much into the science. And says, no, there's no such thing as ghosts. It's a very Chinese horror movie kind of thinking. And so one day they're actually at the hospital, at the vending machine, and all of a sudden, excuse me, all of a sudden this ghost appears. It's the ghost of a guy that died in burnt in an accident. They were talking about it earlier on in the movie, about this particular bloke who died. And sorry, you know what? This is not as easy to do. Talk and build this at the same time. No wonder they say men can't multitask. They see this ghost of this burnt man, and they decide, they try to take a photo of it, and it doesn't come out on a photo. But it spooks the guy who's a skeptic enough to want to pursue looking more into ghosts. So that's when the other guy says to him, he's been trying to do some research for the last couple of years, months, little while. Doesn't exactly give a detailed rundown as to how long he was doing the research for. And they decide that they want to start seeing how they can research ghost phenomena and prove that ghosts exists, pretty much, with the aim. Excuse me, Jesus, I am going to die. With the aim to eventually get published in a well-respected journal that they both are subscribers to, something called The Experiment. So they want to get published into that journal. That's how we're looking so far with the Ao Bing. This looks pretty cool. So one of the guys has a girlfriend. She's a lovely, very beautiful girl, which I kept saying, there's no way she's. Anyway, yeah, she's a very beautiful girl. And the other one has a mother who lives in the hospital. She is ill. And she seems to have some kind of brain damage that she can't recover from. And eventually he has to make a decision once the blood stops going to his mother's brain at one stage throughout the film. And he has to make a decision. Does he keep her alive or does he let her go? Now, it's a pretty horrible decision to have to make. It's a pretty tough decision to have to make. But in the end, he feels he makes the right decision by letting her go. And a few days after she passes, he's visited by her ghost within her room. And she whispers something to him, but he can't quite understand it. He can't quite hear what she's saying. So he realizes that he wants to take this ghost experiment a little bit more seriously and gets this theory or tries to work on this theory that the only reason that the ghost appeared to him was that because he was suffering from a kind of trauma. Excuse me. So he's got a theory that if a person suffers enough trauma or enough stress, that perhaps they can kind of call the ghost that they are looking for. So they're not quite sure how they can test this theory. They want to find someone who is about to die and kind of build upon a relationship with that person in the attempt that when that person dies, they can make contact with it. But they then realize, well, that's just kind of a little bit morally reprehensible. It's a pretty awful thing to do to someone. So then they decide on possibly the worst outcome, which is one of them wants to die. And they feel that if they die, that the other person can call them back and that they will return and then try and prove the experiment works. That's that you can die and come back but with the obvious idea that one of them has to sacrifice their own life for this experiment. It's kind of a great idea. But sorry, I'm just trying to find the right piece for this Ao Bing back. Where is it? Which piece is it? What am I looking for? This one. Excuse me. There it is. It's looking good. Looking good so far. And put his little arms on. So yeah, they decide that maybe the best way to do it is if one of them dies. So the first moral dilemma comes in. Who's the one who's going to die? Is it the one who's lost his mother and pretty much has nothing to live for? Or is it the other guy who's kind of got everything to live for? He's got a girlfriend. He's got a fairly good life. But does he sacrifice himself? Anyway, they decide, as everyone does, and as you should always make decisions by flipping a coin, because, that's the best way to make any decision. Flip a coin. And the coin flips, and, well, Mr. My Mother Has Died is the one who gets tasked with the job of killing himself. But he can't go through with it at all. He chickens out, essentially. I think he picked a pretty gruesome method of trying to kill himself. He wants to shoot himself in the head, which, was going to leave a pretty messy outcome. I'm not sure why they don't just, he's a doctor. He's probably got opportunities to find some cool types of poisons. But anyway, I digress. When he figures out he can't kill himself, he just doesn't have the moral fortitude or the nerve, essentially to kill himself, the friend walks into the room, picks up the gun, bang, does the job himself right in front of him. No ifs, no buts. And it's quite an interesting scene. You think, well, boom, just killed off a main character. But it's kind of when the movie starts to get interesting, because all of a sudden you've got this character who's killed himself but hasn't left any kind of suicide notes or anything like that, and he's got a family who's trying to figure out, why would he do this? What's the purpose? But of course, for the sake of the experiment and not giving away anything about the experiment, the other guy, just doesn't say anything. He keeps silent. He hides all the evidence that they've been collecting and that they've been doing, and tries to continue doing the research in secret. But as you would expect, his mental health slowly starts to decline. I'd like to say he's feeling guilty, but I don't believe he actually starts to feel guilty about it. I think he starts to get frustrated that it's been about 3 months and his friend hasn't made contact with him from the dead. And it starts driving him crazy. He just doesn't know what to do to finish this experiment off. So he tries to kill himself. And that's when the friend comes back and saves him from doing anything stupid. He's about to jump off the roof, and he stops him. And that's when he realizes that he thinks that, so just putting the arm on Ao Bing, that's what it looks like so far. It looks pretty cool. I do like the way these look. Anyway, yes, he stops him from killing himself. And he realizes that at this point, that how he thinks that the ghost energy works is that he has to kind of provoke the ghost or make it angry or put himself in a bit of stress, and that will cause the ghost to appear. So he goes back into his lab and realizes that he needs to kind of prove something. So he goes to the other guy's mother's house, and she's still grieving over the loss of her son. It's still been a little while, but she's still grieving. And he says some insensitive things. At this point of the film, he's gone completely nuts, and he starts to say some pretty insensitive things. And just as he's about to be kicked out of the house, the ghost of his friend starts sending him a text message on his mobile phone to say, well, essentially, it's a text message about chicken curry. And the mother decides, she's going to cook it for him to try out. And then he says something to the mother that's exactly what he said to his mother before he died, that he would like this particular curry. And she realizes now that perhaps he has the ability to talk to her dead son. But he wants to go to the beach. The ghost wants to go to the beach because he's got a connection to it. And this is the part where the skeptical doctor, I'm probably giving the worst summary of this film, by the way. We decides, no, he wants to continue this experiment. So he starts pushing the ghost further and further into essentially what he wants him to do. He doesn't want this experiment to fail. He feels like he's wasted or devoted a lot of his life to this experiment. And just getting these pieces in here, this is really starting to look good. Ao Bing. So now I have to work on the face. So there's a couple of bits to build up the face here. And so he starts doing some really reprehensible things. And this is where the movie starts pushing a bit of the boundaries of, right and wrong, about moral choices, just about, in general, about behavior and how far people will go to to achieve something that is potentially morally reprehensible and will hurt the lives of a lot of people. I've got these eyes. I love these eyes. The eyes are cute. And they're the same. All right, cool. So it doesn't matter which one I put the eyes on. There you go. Look at that. Ao Bing has a face. Just got a half a head he hasn't finished off. So how do I finish off the other half of the head? I don't finish it off yet. Nope. So this bit, nope. This bit here has to go on. And so, the guys, am I missing a piece? Oh yeah, I haven't done this. Yeah, I have to put this in here so that I could put that bit of the head there. And then he's got like a little helmet. So I have to build a little helmet for him. Is it there? Where is it? This grey piece is here. Yep. And then he's got, where's his little helmet? Aha, here. Boom. Boom. And then, hey, done. It's starting to look really good. Excuse me again. Yeah, so the movie starts to slowly get into a crescendo when the ex-girlfriend realizes that the computer is missing, and the computer is what Wee has been using to communicate with his friend. He's been sending messages, and on the computer is also all the instructions of the experiment that they ran, including the suicide video where Wee tried to kill himself, but instead, the other guy did it. Oh man, this is really adorable. Yeah, check that out. Looks like now all that's left to do is do the base. And so she starts to, well, she doesn't actually start to, no, she does suspect that he's hiding something because she finds the ex-boyfriend's laptop. She's wondering, why he would kill himself when he had so much of his life left to live, and she doesn't know about this experiment. And that's when he decides he really wants to try and push the ghost of his friend more. So he pretty much puts some kind of roofie in the ex-girlfriend's drink and pretends to sexually assault her, essentially. And that's when the ghost of his friend just starts to assault him, starts to really just kind of beat him up. And he realizes that he has conducted the experiment. He has found out a way to provoke ghosts into getting them to appear. And of course, now he thinks that he's actually completed the experiment. Look at that. He's done. That's it. Ao Bing is completed. That looks awesome. I love the look of that. All right. Now, time to get on to the receipt. Time to get on to NeZha. I'll leave you there. Oh, you can overlook everyone. All right, where's NeZha? Oh, and there's some leftover pieces here. Oh, hold on. I haven't put the devil horns on him. He's got devil horns. Where did the devil horns go? Ah, right here. Yep, one. And two. Okay, that's complete. So there's Ao Bing. Let me go over here, Ao Bing. There's your leftover pieces. Now, time for NeZha. Sorry about the noise. Yeah, so while he's in, the friend starts to assault him because of what he's doing to the girlfriend. And, well, he realizes that, boom, it has worked. He's managed to be able to aggravate the ghost enough that it works. But he takes it too far. The ghost takes it too far and ends up essentially killing him to take him into the afterlife, to tell him to stop doing the experiment, that he's causing too much damage to his health.
his family, and that the experiment's not really worth it in the end. And it's a really good kind of moral question about, what's right and wrong when it comes to medicine. How far are you willing to go to conduct experiments on people? Because it essentially, when you look at it, it is a kind of human experiment that they're doing. They're playing around with a lot of people's emotions. And the main character, who's very skeptical, turns into a real douchebag, for lack of a better word. Turns really, really opposite of who he feels to be from the start of the film. So it's a very good kind of moral story about the way that people's behaviors change as they get more and more obsessed with things that they are trying to do. And there's certainly a kind of discussion there about people who are obsessed with their jobs, who just ignore their family and their friends, or who will do anything they can to kind of hurt the people around them to achieve essentially a selfish achievement. Should you watch the film? Hell yeah. It's a great film. And I look forward to doing a proper review on it. But it's just a terrific film, surprisingly. And look, I don't know what professional critics are saying about the film. I'd say I'm anything but a professional critic, but getting I got a vibe that it was it's a pretty decent film for Ty, and Ty does some great films. So you can just imagine there's probably going to be an American remake of that film later on. Sometime in the future. It felt very original. I don't know if anyone is watching and has seen the film and knows if it's based on something else. But it very much felt original. It's like, like only Thailand can really do is to create something so original. Look at these are gold pieces, but I have to say that while these pieces look great, the printing on this gold looks a bit dodgy. Yeah, not exactly Lego quality, but God, it's gone out of focus. But anyway, so yeah, should you watch it? Absolutely. If you've got Netflix, jump on and watch it. Enjoy yourself watching it. Enjoy the kind of different take on a kind of ghost movie. Because it will be remade. No doubt it will be remade. And hopefully it will be remade with a bit of respect to it. Ideally, it should never be remade, but America's going to America. So they'll probably will remake it some way. Although, in a sense, it does feel a little bit like a few American movies that have been made already. Movies like Flatliners that kind of explored what happens when you die. It gave off a bit of a vibe of that. So certainly, while it felt original, maybe it's not as completely original as I'm hyping it up to be. What the hell is this thing telling me? Here we go. Sorry. So it looks like I'm building up the front face of NeZha here. And then I've got to build an arm. So this, and this. Do you know what? And I'm going to prepare the other one as well, because no doubt you're going to ask me to do that a bit later on. So I might as well just get that ready. And stick them on in the red bits. Yeah, red bits. They go pretty low. Yeah, that's fine. So, Ghost Lab. Freaking great film. Go and watch it and let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm completely nuts in saying that it's a good film, or if you agree with me that I actually might have actually watched a decent film for once, because God knows I don't watch enough good films. I'm not dead yet. I trust you, I'm not dead yet. And I don't have the virus. I'm good. Oh my God. It's just a flu season here in Melbourne, and it's just yuck. Everything's horrible. Everyone's sick. Everyone's walking around sick. Making people at home sick. Everyone's going to get upset at me. So, Ghost Lab. Definitely make an appointment with your local Netflix to watch it. Or if you don't have Netflix but have other ways of watching films, I don't judge. Watch it that way. I'm sure we've all got alternative ways of watching movies that bypass. Yeah, you know what I mean. I know I'm not going to actively support piracy, although I can talk. How about Hong Kong? Let's have a bit of a chat about what the actual hell is happening in Hong Kong, because I think like a lot of people, I'm just disappointed by what's happening in Hong Kong in regards to their output. Louis Koo is the world's most busiest man, and quite frankly, there's not enough Louis Koo. I don't care what anyone says. There's not enough Louis Koo in the world, and more, I say. But he can only do so much, and he's got some ridiculous amounts of movies coming out this year. 6. He's already had 3 of them come out, so he's got a handful more left, and he can only do so much, and his awesome production studio can only do so much. But we're getting to the point where we're gonna need other Hong Kong people to stand up. And the difficulty there is, who are they standing up to? And who are they going to be making films for? Now, I'm under someone told me the other day that Anthony Wong, who I absolutely love, apparently is banned in mainland China. So, there's a pretty important Hong Kong actor who is banned from making movies or even having his movies broadcast in the mainland. And that's a bit sad. So, he's obviously ticked off the wrong people somewhere. And clearly he doesn't give a shit. So, yeah, probably should respect him on that one. I'm skipping a few pieces ahead from the looks of it. I have missed doing this. Yep. This NeZha is looking not as good as the Ao Bing. I know, Ao Bing looks good. That's a grey piece. Oh, yeah, grey piece there, yeah. I suppose the camera's a bit shit else. You can't really see the camera properly. I should have put it in a better spot. I should have prepared this before I started. Now it just looks like I'm a bit lazy and don't know what I'm doing, which is about half right. I am A, lazy, and B, don't know what the hell I'm doing. I am looking for a piece that I cannot find. Isn't it the greatest fear when building stuff like this? Ah, there it is. Nope, no fear, because it's there. So this is where we are at. So we've got to flip it over this side. And what are we doing? We are putting this in there, like here. That goes in here. So I'm trying to think of the last really good Hong Kong movie that I saw. And I can think about a couple. I personally liked Legally Declared Dead. I think a lot of people were iffy about it. And I haven't seen any of the movies that it's based on. So it's based on a Korean movie and further back a Japanese movie. So my friend, Not Only Hollywood, has covered the Korean version of the film. And I think he said it was just rather average. Now time to do NeZha's face. But I full respect for Anthony Wong. He's in that film and for Legally Declared Dead. Another good Hong Kong and a proper Hong Kong film, not a co-production with the mainland, was I'm Living It. I don't know if anyone's seen I'm Living It. It's a really sad film with Aaron Kwok and a few other actresses. I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but it's just a fantastic film about the homeless people in Hong Kong and that they live in a McDonald's during the night. Well, during the day, they just desperately try and do whatever work they can. Look at this, NeZha's face. It's cute. It's really cute. Hey, NeZha. I think that's a terrific film. I'm Living It. It's called. It's a bit of a play on the McDonald's slogan, I'm loving it. A fully funded Hong Kong film. So there's kind of no interference from the mainland on that one. That's a very sad film. Very sad film. If you're into sad films, if you're not into sad films, then I probably don't recommend watching it. But I'm not going to tell you what happens in that one. But Aaron Kwok is in it. Aaron Kwok is just the best. Just the best. When he does something good. Now, I recently looked at, what was his film? The Benny Chan one. City Under Siege. Man, that was the biggest load of shit I've ever seen. Just Aaron Kwok was an absolute idiot in that film, and the accent that he used throughout it was horrible. I am missing a piece. Mother, father. Where is it? I'm telling you, there is a piece missing. Yeah, guarantee you. Unless I've accidentally... I've accidentally used the wrong one here. No, take it back. There's no piece missing. And it's this one here. Yep. Stupid man. There he is. He's looking good. He's looking good. He's looking good. I do like the way this NeZha looks. I had to give him some hair at the front. So I noticed who's seen, I'm guessing there's going to be quite a few of you have seen Godzilla versus Kong. What a great film that was. But I'm a bit miffed. I've got to make his side rolls. I'm a bit miffed at that film over the whole idea that Hong Kong was used as the punching bag in the film. What is the purpose? I know the purpose. That appeases the mainland Chinese censors. Hey, look, show some control over Hong Kong. Show that market getting destroyed. It's really not what people want to see. I don't want to see Hong Kong getting destroyed. I love Hong Kong. Everyone loves Hong Kong. Everyone who's been to Hong Kong loves it. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't been there recently. I don't know how much it's changed. I hope it hasn't changed too much. And then put the little ball over it. Oh yeah, the detail in this thing is, for a deliberately blocky looking puzzle piece, the detail is quite great. And then, so these are his little, they're done. Sorry, turn around so I can see it. I realize on the video you can't. Look at that. How adorable is that? So it looks like all I've got left to do, is the base. And the base should be pretty simple. So boom, boom, boom. Whoops. There you go. Just lose everything down. Good work. Done. Done. No, not yet, Dan. you've got to build up the base. So he has some stuff to sit on. So these are these little fire legs. So fire. So fire. Can you see those fire decals? What am I doing wrong? I know exactly what I'm doing wrong. Stupid man. Nope, I don't exactly know what I'm doing wrong. I'll take that back. Let me try and figure this out. This is like following an IKEA piece of furniture. Aha. So it's these ones. Yep. And so they're deliberately decaled in a way that you really can't put them on wrong, even though I did. And then sit in a jar on top. I have to put you down like that and press you in. Boom. Done. Oh my God. Where is straight? There you go. NeZha and Ao Bing. Got some leftover pieces. They look pretty cool. Oh God. I could see why people use 2 cameras to do live streaming. Then I could have just swapped between them. So they ended up looking good. I'll show you what they look properly now. There's NeZha. There's Ao Bing, and they can go on the shelf behind me and sit next to the other NeZha. Hong Kong film industry. It's not looking good lately. Really need to do something to kind of improve what's going on with that industry, because they are just turning into this kind of self-censoring puppet of the mainland. And the movies are just not exciting anymore. When was the last time you saw a really exciting Hong Kong action film? I know that Raging Fire is due out next month with Donnie Yen, but is anyone really going to be surprised if it's not that great? I don't think we are. Anyway, I'm getting ahead off. Thanks for joining me along. If you're watching the replay, awesome. Thank you for sticking around. If you're watching it live, thank you again for sticking around. Appreciate anything. I know it's kind of weird time to do this. I'm probably not expecting too many people to be hanging around and too many people to be there, but drop me a message on any of my other videos. But otherwise, I'll catch you around next time. Thanks so much, everyone, and I appreciate your help. Bye. Now to end the broadcast.